Hello, my friends, and welcome if you are new here. So glad you stopped by. I hope you subscribe and stay for this wild Inktober adventure I am on. If you're taking part in Inktober, how are you feeling on day 3? I know I'm pretty tired, but it has definitely been a rewarding experience pushing myself to the max with these pieces and trying to upload every day. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you all so much for your feedback. I'm sorry I can't get back to all your comments. I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get these done, get all my videos posted, etc. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. So today is the constellation Lynx from my Galaxy Girls series. I didn't know what to do for this one for the longest time. I definitely struggled with the pose forever. I had this idea in my head, like an emotion I wanted to display, but I just couldn't come up with how I wanted to portray it, and I just kept seeing this big cat like headbutting into, honestly, myself. I just kept feeling this emotion of like a big cat headbutting, like oh, I love you so much, and I didn't know how to draw it, so finally I just went with my gut feeling, and this came out. So I definitely wanted to focus more on mood with this piece, mood and emotion. I don't know about you guys, but I just want a lynx. I just want a big lynx. I love their big bunchy paws and their big stick-up ears, and they're just so cute. And I just imagine this girl owning this galaxy lynx and just being all cuddly up with it. Here I'm just laying down my initial ink wash, those colors. If you're interested in knowing a bit more about my process or the supplies I'm using, I have videos a little further back on that. I won't focus too much on them today. I'm also, again, using the salt technique, especially for the spots on the Lynx's star fur. I'm using a lot of pink with the ink wash. I really like how that turns out. It doesn't look muddy. I was worried that adding any color to the women would just look really muddy with gray, but for some reason the pink just, to me, it works. I'd love to know what you guys think too. It still reads as almost like an interesting skin tone, and it gives some warmth to the body. I love how this texture here turned out in the lynx's fur, and then I just ruined it by going right over it. Sometimes you need to know when to leave ink wash alone because it's gonna spread out into a cool pattern, and I tend to get overexcited and just put more on top of it and go, ah man, I wish I didn't do that. It was a nice change to do a half body this time so I could draw a bigger face. It's definitely more of a challenge to draw smaller faces and try and fit all the emotion and detail into it, so I really like doing that. I'll probably do a mixture of full body pieces, maybe a couple portraits and some half bodies with the series. I thought that doing a half body would make it a little easier on me, but this ended up taking me a really long time, and I was up until 5 a.m. again. I need to work on my time scheduling a lot. I tend to stay up really late. I'm definitely a night owl. Shout out to all those night owls out there. It was also different to do white for the hair instead of black or gray. It's very strange to do white eyebrows for me. It just doesn't look right, but I do like how it turned out. So I'll probably do that with some of the other girls, doing some negative white space. I was going to film this as not a time lapse, like just a slowed down version, so you could see my real-time process. Let me know if you'd like to see that as well as the time lapse. I'm just worried it's going to be too slow and maybe a little boring. I'll have to just cut out like 10 to 20 minutes of real-time art, which for these big pieces, it's pretty slow. I'm doing these in about, I want to say, 3 to 4 hours, which seems like a lot of time, and it is for an Inktober, but I am making this, like I've said a bajillion times, into a Kickstarter book campaign, so I want to spend time on it. This is, my job, so I'm kind of mixing Inktober with my job, so don't feel like you have to do hours of Inktober a day to be good at it. You absolutely do not. I probably couldn't challenge myself more than I am right now with filming and everything. I know I keep talking about it, but I really have never pushed myself this hard. So again, please don't feel like if your pieces are smaller or anything like that, that you're not doing it correctly. I definitely planned out time this month to do this. I knew it was going to be a very hard month. So I'm not in school. If I was in school, there's no way I would do this. This is my job. If I had a different job, no way I could do this. And that's completely okay. Just do whatever works for you. Ah, that ink spread out. So aesthetically pleasing. I just want to make a video of ink spreading out into water. Just like an hour-long video. I would watch it over and over. I was having a little trouble with her ears popping. I didn't want to do line work at first, so I was trying to make like a darker ink wash in the background, and it kind of worked, but I ended up doing lines as well to make it pop. Inktober is really about experimenting, and in my own way, this is very much experimenting. I'm just kind of going with my gut. I'm not planning it out on a different page too much. I'm doing a little, kind of few studies, but for the most part, I'm just going for it and going, okay, is this gonna work? Hopefully it works. Like with the color in the hair, didn't plan that out, didn't know if it would work. It kind of worked. It wasn't perfect. Probably would have been better if I had colored ink pens, but I was using colored gouache instead, which is like a thicker watercolor. This is all experimenting. That's why you'll see the poor Lynx's face appear and disappear and reappear and disappear again a million times. Because I didn't plan him out very well, and finally I just had to take him into Photoshop at the very end and just kind of tweak his face just a tiny bit. I know that's a little bit of cheating, but it's so small. I promise you won't notice. Doing more of this lace technique, I am having a lot of fun with that. I definitely completely made up this piece, and you can kind of tell, but it's kind of fun to make a little lace lingerie-esque pieces. I imagine star girls would wear lace lingerie. I don't know why. They just would, made of stars. I have decided that. I like how the salt ended up pushing away a lot of the ink on the paws. Originally I was going to have just the Lynx be pretty much black, but I don't know. I really like how the color shows at the bottom, and I think I'll continue doing that with most of the animals in my pieces. Maybe some of the women. I'm not sure how that will look. One of my past pieces, Nyx, the goddess of the night, which is one of my 2016 Inktober pieces. I have a video on her, but she's basically just totally black, like just a silhouette of black with some color streaks in her, and I do like how that turned out as well, so I might do a few like that. Here's that satisfying peel off of the finished piece. Done. And I am pretty happy with how she turned out. I'm glad I went with my kind of emotions and feelings with this one instead of planning it out super carefully, and I think I'll continue going with my gut feeling. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you feel the emotion that I was going for with this. Again, all of these will be in a book later on in the month, a Kickstarter campaign. I will definitely be making holographic prints of this one. That will be really fun. So thank you all for stopping by again. Join me tomorrow for day 4, which is Taurus.